Do not adjust the settings on your computer. You have not tuned in to the wrong podcast. This is The Solo Show, and on this edition, we are pondering the immortal question of, what if the Grand Circle Tour podcast went over their allotted data for the month? This special edition of The Solo Show is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com. The future is bright indeed. We're all of us dreaming of the better days ahead, and a part of your bright new future could be a move to where the magic lives in the greater Orlando area of Florida. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. Victor Naraki is the realtor who can help you make the move you've always wanted to. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or looking to move near Disney World, Victor is in your corner. If you are looking for an experienced real estate agent covering all of Central Florida, please visit disneyatyourdoorstep.com today and find out just why you should work with Victor. I encourage you to create a free, no-obligation account on his website. By doing so, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Visit disneyatyourdoorstep.com today or visit his Facebook page, Victor Naraki Realtor. And don't forget to tell him The Solo Show sent you. Time is not linear. Space is more than the universe. Reality is not what it seems. It is a prism of possibilities. I am the listener, and so are you. Join us as we ponder the infinite questions. This is the Grand Circle Tour podcast roundtable discussion that asks the question, what if?
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of The Solo Show. Today we are playing What If the Grand Circle Tour ran out of data and had to move it to a different show.
What if the roundtable discussion happened on Stan's show instead? That's the question we're asking today.
What if the last episode I did was just so big, it wiped us out for the month?
Scott, your turn.
That can't be it.
Really quick, I just want to do a big shout out to Ken, the voiceover guy. I love that intro. Ken is the best every time.
Yeah, he's awesome. Sure, we wouldn't be a solo show without Ken. Everybody knows that. Everybody says that. He's the star of the show. So this week, we're going to be perfectly honest. All four of us are exhausted. We're all tired. Justin just got back from Hawaii 15 minutes ago. And is tired beyond belief.
But it feels that way.
He still has the lays on.
He watched these two episodes on the plane coming home from Hawaii. Yeah, we all feel sorry for you. We're playing the smallest violin ever. So we're talking, what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? And what if Thor was an only child? So if you haven't watched those, we're going straight into spoilers. We're going to spend the first little bit talking about the first episode. And then the second one, talking about the second episode. Was it 6 and 7? I think we're doing episode 6 and episode 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that how that works? Yeah.
Sure.
Sure, why not? I've lost track. I think that sounds right.
So I don't think we're going to be up to our usual snuff of all the hidden details and everything. So Justin, you've only watched them the one time each?
Yes. I watched them last night literally on the plane flying home.
Alrighty, and Skipper, what about you?
I've watched them both once, and I had forgotten the first episode we're going to talk about because the second one was so good.
Yeah.
I had to look and go, wait, what happened before this?
How about you, Scott?
I watched episode 6 twice. It was so long ago than episode 7 other days.
Alrighty, I think I'm ahead of all of you because I watched them, both of them twice, and the second time was this morning. So,
dude, it's like 4 a.m. How did you have time?
I didn't go to bed yet.
Okay.
I don't think. So I haven't had my call. I can't get it. I'll have to go get it later. Killmonger. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? straight out of the gate, I don't even remember Killmonger in the movies. Can someone refresh me?
So he was from the Black Panther movie.
Okay.
He was the kind of the lead bad guy in that film. Coming in. He was basically, he was T'Challa's cousin. His dad's brother had been expelled basically from Wakanda and had a kid, and that kid grew up to be Killmonger.
So you guys knew who this guy was going into this, and he was related to Black Panther. Scott's nodding his head. Scott, what about you?
Yeah, I knew going in. He was like Justin just got done. He was the villain in Black Panther, and T'Challa's dad actually had to kill his father in Black Panther because he stole the vibranium and lied. So Killmonger had his agenda in Black Panther and in this.
And it was mentioned in the Black Panther movie that Killmonger had gotten that nickname during his time in Afghanistan, which is where we kind of meet up with him here, saving Tony Stark. So we did get hints in Black Panther that he was in this area at this time frame. So it does kind of tie in with that.
Soldier then, right? Was he a soldier for the U.S.?
Yeah, he's an American soldier.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a Navy SEAL.
I got to watch Black Panther again. I think I watched it once in the theater the day it came out and haven't watched it since.
Yeah. Clearly you needed the refresher going into this one.
I was so lost. I had no idea what was going on the first time I watched it. The second time around, I had a little bit more of an inkling.
I kind of wish I'd watched this one with you now.
I felt like Holly. I totally felt like Holly watching this. I'm like, who is this guy? Where does this one come from? Why is Black Panther involved? I understood the vibranium happening and all that and what was going on, but I was lost in it. What about you guys?
Yeah,
did you guys like this one?
Killmonger's been one of the better villains of the MCU here lately, so it was nice seeing him in here.
Did you guys enjoy this episode? It's my bottom one.
I definitely was able to follow along and knew what was going on and all of that. But I would say of these, this is probably my bottom one as well, just because, I don't know, it just seemed like it was just all action, and it just didn't feel like there was as much substance to it as some of the other.
How about you, Jay?
I thought this episode should have been called "What If Tony Stark Was So Smart He Was Stupid."
True.
That's half the movies.
Yeah. Because this whole time I was going, "Oh, poor Tony. This is going to end well. This is not going to end well for you."
Well, is this guy's MO just to backstab people? Like, it doesn't seem to matter what side he's on, he's going to backstab you.
Well, he's trying to take down Wakanda, and so that's his whole thing, is to gain the power of the Black Panther and take down Wakanda as revenge for the fact that T'Challa's dad killed his dad.
Okay, but like he befriends Tony Stark and then backstabs him. Then he befriends that arms dealer and backstabs him.
Well, I got the feeling he was nobody's friend. He was the only person he cared about was himself and his little revenge mission. Yeah.
But I mean, go ahead.
I don't think he cared who he did, as long as he got his objective done, and whoever stood in his way. If you remember in this episode, he actually didn't want to have to kill Tony Stark, but then Tony Stark realized he's the one that killed Rhodey and T'Challa and found out and got his war machine or whatever they call that in this episode to attack
Gundam action figure.
Killmonger.
Apparently that actually comes about partly because of the actor Michael B. Jordan has an actual interest in anime, and so that's why they did an anime inspired design for these machines.
Oh, okay. Now they mentioned the 10 rings at one point. Does that have anything to do with the new movie that's out, the Shang-Chi?
Well,
yes.
Okay, so the 10 rings were the terrorist organization originally in Iron Man, so that's sort of period appropriate, as it were. But yeah, I think that's also that's I haven't seen the new Shang-Chi movie yet, but I believe that is the main villains that are coming back. Yeah, it is.
I seen Shang-Chi, and it was, it played a part in Iron Man 1, then Iron Man 3, and of course with Shang-Chi and this episode.
So when they dropped that 10 rings reference, I thought, oh, that's right. They want me to not forget to go buy that theater ticket.
Yep.
That's what I felt like too. That's exactly what I felt like. It was like I have to see that movie yet.
That was suspiciously timed for right now.
Yeah, exactly.
They do what they can.
Yeah. Was there anything else in this one that anybody wants to talk about? They're all dying to get to the next one.
I hate to say it, but when this first season's done, I'm pretty sure this is going to be my bottom 3.
Yeah.
I kind of agree as well. It's just it like I say, it didn't feel like it had quite the same level of substance as some of the others. It didn't have the same level of even like references and such. It kind of felt like it's totally its own thing. They just wanted to tell a story about Killmonger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the episode, What If Tony Stark Kept Walking into Rakes?
Again, that's half the films.
Yeah, I always judge TV shows with I call it my watch meter or whatever. How many times I look at my watch during the show? And I think I looked at it like 3 times.
I checked my phone 3 times. It's like, what's on Twitter?
Yeah. What time is it? Oh,
I will say this one and the next one kind of continues the trend that we've been seeing with the Watcher, though. We're seeing him more and more kind of full-faced, almost like he's part of the scene instead of just this kind of shadowy figure in the night sky that we saw him in the first few episodes. So he's becoming sort of more corporeal, more directly, almost like he's going to become part of the action going forward eventually.
Yeah. It's a very cool way they're introducing kind of bits and pieces.
Said it before, if you get Jeffrey Wright, you use Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, episode 7, what if Thor were an only child? I thought Thor was an only child. Isn't Loki like a half-brother?
He is, and that's the whole point of this, is that instead of adopting Loki, Odin gives Loki back to the Frost Giants. So Thor and Loki then don't grow up together as brothers.
So I love this episode. This is probably my favorite one.
This one probably has the most cameos as well. Just bringing back everybody from the entire MCU. I swear, they're all here.
Yeah.
At the voice cast in this one, part of the problem I had with the last one was that was Michael B. Jordan not acting against Robert Downey Jr. And this one, except for Captain Marvel, everybody was back to voice their lines. Even Jeff Goldblum, and he had like 2 lines in the whole show, but there he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode was a fun episode. It wasn't doom and gloom. It was all fun and games. Yeah, like with all the cameos and everything like that. Every time they had a giant scene with all those Easter eggs in there with all those actors and all that, and it's like, oh, that was Guardians of the Galaxy. That was Thor. So yeah, I enjoyed this one quite a bit.
Yeah, they even got Natalie Portman back.
Yeah.
To be Jane Foster. They got Kat Dennings. They got everyone back, which was a lot of fun. And this one, contrasted with the previous one, I mean, this felt a little more like, this is how things would play out differently as a result of this one change. Whereas, like I said, the previous one, it just felt like someone wanted to tell a Killmonger story.
Yeah.
Well, going back to what Scott said about doom and gloom, I mean, the last couple episodes have been doom and gloom. We are living through doom and gloom. So to sit down and watch something that made me laugh beginning to end and had no real world implications, I loved it. I bought into this whole thing because it was so fun.
Yeah.
We want the party atmosphere to spread across the globe.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, I think the highlight was, now, Justin, I know how much you're a big fan of Darcy, and she actually gives North Dakota some love, or was it some hate in this one? Saying, North Dakota doesn't matter, neither does South Dakota. I didn't know the difference between them.
Yep, exactly.
I'm just saying, you could take out a Dakota, no one would notice.
Which one are you in? Should we save that one?
I'm in the north one, which has less stuff in it.
Yeah.
South Dakota is the one that has like
that's
the
below.
Black Hills and the and those weird statues in a mountain.
But north is the one we want to save.
Yeah.
Yeah. South Dakota is the one that's below, according to Darcy.
Yep. So what did you guys all
South
think?
Dakota is the lesser Dakota. That's the
So what you guys think of Darcy and her new husband?
Yeah.
Mrs. the Duck.
Yeah.
Lots of jokes I can't make on a family-friendly show.
I liked how when they first came down to Vegas, there's like a random Elvis impersonator in the street. That's that's there. There was
and the one video I watched did point out that later on there's a scroll in that Elvis costume. So it's like, are the scrolls already here? Was that Elvis impersonator already a scroll?
Yeah.
That was one thing we thought was really, really fake. We went, there's no more Elvis in Vegas. You don't see any impersonators anymore.
You don't?
No, like Elvis is basically gone from Vegas now.
Really? I did not know that.
Oh, I don't know. I was just there a couple weeks ago, and I've seen some.
Have you? I haven't seen any the last couple of years I've gone.
They're back. The Elvis impersonators are back.
I don't
It's
think
the
Elvis
scroll
can ever be
sensation.
truly gone from Vegas. I don't think that's
I
possible.
hope not. Yeah.
I like the tattoos that the Jane and Thor got. She got the magic tattoo and he got the science tattoo. And they animated that throughout the rest of the episode too, because I kind of expected them to almost like forget about it. But every time they had his arm, it was there. I was kind of hoping his mom would make a comment about that at the end.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. What is your science? We don't believe in science. Or something like that.
Well, I think in the one movie I think in Thor specifically, he says something to Jane along the lines of, you we call it magic, you call it science or whatever, but it's like it's one and the same where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the callback to the you guys will know better than me which Marvel movie it was where Thor calls Rocket a rabbit.
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, there's a rabbit in the sink," and Jane says he's a zoologist.
I think that was Infinity War when he was on the Guardians of the Galaxy ship.
Yeah, I was Infinity War.
Your rabbit is correct. Rabbit?
We now have so much Marvel on our heads to mine through. It's like, wait, we know it. Where did that come from?
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. Like I say, this felt like the entire MCU, all the whole phase, the whole Infinity Saga was here because we had the Grand Master, we had the Guardians of the Galaxy and all of those people. We had even like the gold people from Guardians 2 and
the Sovereign.
Yeah, the Sovereign. There you go.
Well, then you had pretty much the whole cast of S.H.I.E.L.D. there.
Yeah.
I love this was Marvel's episode of House Party.
Absolutely. And again, they brought back all these people, and some of them, like you say, like Jeff Goldblum had like 2-3 lines, but he was there and they got him. Taika Waititi was there, and how many lines did Korg have?
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that was because of the pandemic and everybody was home and Kevin Feige just sent out a mass text, "Hey, open this mic. We need 5 minutes from you."
Probably was good timing on their part as far as the pandemic goes for getting that.
That was the thing I noticed on this episode more than any of the others was everybody was spot on. It was the correct voices, except for Captain Marvel.
Do we know the reason why she wasn't available?
She was in space.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot.
She's trying to save the galaxy still.
Oh, too busy.
It's a big galaxy. There's lots going on.
She has a pandemic to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why some of these people aren't here and where so many are. I mean,
we're getting stories back that some of them were filming other movies, or there was a communication problem where they didn't get whatever message they're supposed to get or something, or I'm assuming a lot of it has to do with money. It seems like it always comes down to contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the contracts include animation voiceovers and kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't have Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's like I get a little confused, like why they're not able to get those when they're able to get Samuel L. Jackson will show up for 2 lines.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, he'll do anything.
Yeah. He'll do our show if we tell him that.
If we tell him he can swear through the whole thing, he'll do it.
We need Nick Fury on our show, and we thought of you.
We're doing a Nick Fury. You available?
My dream is to get Sam Jackson on the show so I can title it MF.
I like the. It kind of took me way out the first time they did it, but once I realized what was going on, I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. Was when they're heading to France and they write France on the map. That kind of took me out for a second. But then when they started going like to United Kingdom and different places, I appreciated that they had that.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of felt like the old Indiana Jones maps when the plane would cross the continents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I absolutely loved that. And the whole fight between Captain Marvel and Thor was a lot of fun.
This was the first episode that made me laugh out loud and continue to laugh out loud through the whole show. Like when they vandalized the President Face Rock, it's too early to think of name. I was
Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, Mount Rushmore. I was dying. Right. I was dying because it was a harmless prank. That ice is going to melt. So I'm just cracking up the whole time.
Or Stonehenge, or the St. Louis Arch, or Statue of Liberty.
Using the St. Louis Arch as a slingshot. That's probably the best use for it. I love that.
Hey, I drive by it on occasion. It's kind of useless. Sorry, St. Louis.
It looks cool as heck, though. I love watching this baseball games from St. Louis, and you see that arch in the background, perfectly lined up.
It looks good, but it's really goofy to get up to the top of that. If you've ever taken that little weird elevator thing up to the top,
we did it once and thought, well, this is the end.
Yeah. I shall not be doing that again.
It started to go up, and we both looked at each other. Wait, we did do our advanced directives, right?
Yeah.
The cleanup process when Bum was coming, totally unrealistic. Like, there's no way in the world they're getting that all done in that period of time. But it sure made for some funny moments.
Yeah, I love that. I love that whole concept of, we're going to call your mom.
I like how, like, any disobedient teenager who has had a house party, everyone's like, see ya, on your own. Good luck.
Yeah, you clean up that vomit yourself. I'm not.
Your parents are an hour away. Good luck with that.
Yeah. And
even that being said, when they were cleaning it up, even when Frida came back, his mom came back, even Captain Marvel kind of helped them out too, so trying to cover them. And
like any mom, she knows it's all an act.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She knows what they really did.
She didn't fall for it at all. I liked how he straightened the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah. He just assumed that was part of their hijinks.
Yeah.
It was interesting. They didn't go to the pyramids at all. They didn't touch the pyramids or the Great Wall of China. Like, there's so much more they could have added. But I thought that was awesome how they were kind of going around the world doing all this destruction and the cleanup process afterwards.
You know, hitting on the Statue of Liberty till you burn her arm off, then you have to put it back on.
Yeah.
Now, this was the episode that ended with Vision as Ultron, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how early it is, listeners.
Yeah.
I had to remember the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, interestingly, with that though, the Watcher didn't see that coming, and usually he's the one who's pointing out like what's going on and such. So in this case, he was like, okay, and they all lived happily ever after. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Which is like, and they were coming in from like some weird portal. So like, are they crossing timelines or something? We don't know.
I just kind of assumed that Ultron got the Vision's body like he wanted, because he still had the yellow stone in his head, and he was wearing the others kind of like embellishments. So I figured that was Ultron in the Vision body.
Right, but are they coming over from a different timeline, or why are they coming through like that weird portal? And why did the Watcher know about it? Why
Go ahead, Scott.
Especially with the expression from the Watcher, with him supposed to be knowing everything, and I think Ultron had to come from another reality, another timeline with what Watcher had said. That's what I'm taking out of it.
Yeah.
Now,
so since it caught him so off guard, it just seems like that. It wasn't this reality, this timeline. Something they're coming from somewhere else. Is kind of the impression I got too.
And when the Watcher was taken aback, I really want this to be the first time they swore. I want to have the Watcher go, oh, poop.
Are we going to see the continuation of this one?
I think there is some previews out there, and I haven't seen them, but the one video I did kind of catch before I came on here said that there were some previews showing some of these different characters that we've been introduced to from these different timelines kind of working together. So I think this might be the inciting incident that brings everyone together from some of these different timelines that we've seen.
Well, and you guys remember in the trailer, there was that shot of the Guardians and Captain Carter doing the Battle of New York where the camera spins around all of them. Mm-hmm. So I think they've been putting the pieces in play all season. I think everything's going to pay off in episode 10.
Yeah.
So we're going to have kind of a crossover from all of these different realities that we've seen.
I think these different Nick Furies are putting an Avengers team together, but it's not the one that we're used to.
Either that or they'll have a giant cliffhanger after with them. But yeah, I think they're all going to get together, or the majority of them are going to get together, and we're going to have a go against Ultron.
Yeah, and the one theory that I had seen was that the Watcher might be bringing these people together from different realities to fight something, like, for example, the Vision Ultron.
I'm kind of thinking we're not going to get something from every episode, but I think you guys are right that there is going to be a mashup or a matchup. Like I think the zombies was going to be a one-off. I think Killmonger is going to be a one-off. At least I hope it is. I mean, we might get Killmonger as Black Panther, perhaps in this. That will be like that contribution.
Could see that. Am I the only one who really wants this to lead to a version of Secret Wars?
Secret Invasion or Secret Wars or yeah,
all these different multiverse heroes dropped into an arena together.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. And of course, Secret Wars was kind of the birth of Venom in the end. So does Marvel? I mean, Sony still owns Venom. I don't know if they're going to go
now.
For now, for the time being.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sony still owns Venom, but so does they own Spider-Man too.
True.
And they're able to use him a little bit here and there, and
give it time. Yellow Shoes will own the world.
Yeah.
Well, I think was it Steve Ditko's estate is trying to get back the rights to some of these characters now under the the copyright termination process. They finally hit the however many years you have to wait for that. So Marvel / Disney is having to fight back in court to say no, you can't do that, but I think they can, and there's going to be a mess with that now coming up. So that'll be some interesting legal fights to look forward
Disney
to. I'm
just
sure.
buy the Ditko family and make them part of the problem solved.
Yeah, I think it's going to be everybody that's did it over the years with different characters. Disney's going to end up having to pay royalties to all those guys eventually, all those creators.
Yeah. Well, they started having to put Bob Kane's name on anything Batman, and the two guys who created Superman, the name escapes me right now. Like they've started having to incorporate the creators into anytime they do a movie or show created by.
Yeah.
Well, Ditko worked with Stan Lee a lot for a lot of the characters, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And now they do give Stan Lee a tip of the hat on just pretty much everything. Why do they not Ditko?
Why don't they Jack Kirby?
Yeah,
exactly. There's just, I think there's just so many of them.
I mean, Stan's kind of become the figurehead for all this stuff, even though, don't kill me, listeners, he didn't create all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much Stan Lee was the face of Marvel.
I think, particularly you're talking early days of comics like that and, the 60s and such, there was a lot of collaboration and a lot of, this person's writing it and kind of creating the character that way. This person's drawing it, creating the characters that way. Who really created the character when they're all working together in this collaborative format. And, then the company kind of technically owns the copyrights to it and the trademarks and kind of gets into a legal mess.
Yeah,
is what it boils down to.
60 years ago, they had no idea this was all going to become trillions of dollars worth of movie franchise, theme park franchise, merchandise. I think if they'd known, it would have been done completely different.
Right. I mean, this was stuff that was essentially meant to be read and thrown away.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. Yeah. It would be on the bottom of the birdcage is basically what happens to a lot of comics back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, it was all printed on the cheap paper because it was it was low cost. It was meant to be just read and thrown away and forgotten.
You guys want the most random comic book fact I can give you?
Why not?
Do you know why there's so many green-colored and green-themed heroes and supervillains in comics?
It has to do with the printing process, doesn't it?
It does. Green was the cheapest color to print. So that's why you see so much green in all those great Silver Age books.
Well, and speaking of that, I mean, the Incredible Hulk was originally gray, and they had trouble with the printing of that. He kept looking more greenish than gray, and so they finally just went, okay, he's green.
Green's a color also. Let's use that.
It's so early. We've wandered so far away from this topic. I love it.
I know we're getting very political for probably the most fun episode of the entire series so far. So where do you guys rank this one? Are we all in agreement that this was our favorite one so far, or was Zombies still your number one?
I would say this one's my favorite just because, I love...
Because they talked about
I
North
love
Dakota,
Thor,
that's why.
and I love all of the Easter eggs and bringing back so many characters and just having so much fun with it. It was definitely one of the more fun episodes.
Scott?
Yeah, I agree. I think this is either top one or two my favorite ones. It was, like I said, it was enjoyable. It was fun, like all the Easter eggs and everything. So I really enjoyed this one. This was you could watch this one and think, hey, this was nice. No one died in the.
Yeah, I guess not, eh? Jay?
This is definitely up there. It's a tie between this and the Doctor Strange one we saw a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We still have 3 episodes to go, but I think this one is in the lead for my number one for season 1.
Yeah. I enjoyed this one so much. I just wish I had time to research more for this show, but it was a good one for sure.
It's so early, the fact that we can remember any of this.
I'm impressed on how we did, actually.
We're all going right back to bed after this.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm having a cup of coffee in me. Alrighty, guys. What did you think of this episode? Let us know. Did you watch it more than once, or are you like us and just tired?
Let us know if you're awake.
Yeah, we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Might be on Grand Circle Tour, might be on Solo Show. We'll find out. Ken, take it away.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.